Hey everybody, Cynthia here. I'm back with the TP mini roll album, and it's kind of like this one. And we are doing the ribbon binding right now, and I'm gonna get started here. I've already put one ribbon through. Now this ribbon I cut, I think this is 6 inches. So it might be a little too long, guys. Actually, this is longer than that. This one's like 8 inches. I don't think you need it that long. I just did it so that I knew I'd have extra. And it's about 1 inch wide. This is princess ribbon. Isn't that cute? I got this a long time ago. And I'm pretty sure I got it at Walmart. So I'm not sure if they still have it there. Probably not. I got Tinkerbell. I don't know if they had Mickey Mouse when I was there. But I did pick up Tinkerbell and the princess ones. So anyway, I already put one through. I'm going to try for the second one here. And just put it through all the holes. If you can't get it through all of them, that's fine. Just do a couple at a time. And then I have Fabri-Tac. I like to tie a knot. I have ribbon binding tutorials already. I'm just showing you how I do this one. Anyway, I like to tie a knot. And then before I tie it really tight, I like to use some Fabri-Tac. And that way, it won't come out. So, yeah, I think that'll look cute, right? The princess. Okay, so I usually pull on it a little bit back and forth so you know it's going to go through nice and easy. If you can't pull on this nice and easy, your ribbon's way too thick and you need to go, you know, to one a little smaller. So I'm going to tie a knot, and I did it very lightly, and I'll tie another one with the bottom. Okay, now before I go and tie a second knot, I usually put my finger in here. You can also take one of your pens. See, I tied that too tight. Stick it underneath your knots, because basically you want to make a loop. You don't want to tie your ribbon so tight that you can't get your album open. Okay, you want to make like a loop, like almost like the rings, like a ring binding. So I'm going to tie it against this Jelly Roll pen because it's just easier for me. Get out a little Fabri-Tac. Actually, this is the 3-in-1 glue. You can use it on fabric or paper. And I picked this up at Joann's. I'm going to put a little bit of the fabric glue there before I tie. Oops. Sorry if I bumped the camera, guys. My second knot. And this one you're going to want to knot pretty tight. Okay. So there's that one. A little bit. You don't need a lot, just a little. So once that dries in there, it holds your album together quite nicely. And then all the pulling on it that you're doing, the ribbon won't come back open. Okay. So now I have my ribbon binding. Okay, you see that it made kind of like a loop there. That way I can get my album open. There's no problem. Okay. I'm not sure if I like this ribbon. I may change it out for a different one because you can't really see the princesses now. They're all tied up inside here. All you can see is an eyeball here or there, and that kind of freaks me out. Oh gosh. I may change this ribbon out, but that's basically how you do a ribbon binding. You can also get You can tie bows out here if you want to. The main thing is to make sure you have some kind of a loose loop. You don't want it too loose, but you want it to where you can keep opening up your pages and you don't have a problem. You're not putting any stress on the album itself. Okay? So that's the ribbon binding. I think I'm going to change this out. I'm not happy with it. And I will be back and we will continue working on the front cover. Okay? I'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm back. I did switch out my ribbon. I didn't like it. So what I did was I switched it out for some tulle that I had, and I used this darker purple color as the main loop here. Still, I'm able to put my pen in there. Okay, so I made my loop, put some Fabri-Tac on, and tied it again. Okay, and now I'm tying on some of this lighter purple color, and I'll show you how I'm doing that. Just cutting myself a strip. Actually two. I'm gonna cut one for the front and one for the back. Now I'm not gonna put this through the album holes because you only want the darker purple going through the holes itself so that you can turn this quite easily. But what you can do is this loop that you've made, if you guys can see, I tied on my lighter purple tulle to the loop itself, and that's what I'm going to do to this one up here. So I'm just going to gather it at one end, and I use tweezers for this. Stick it through the loop. Okay, can you guys see that? Stuck it right through that loop. Now this is at the front of the album. Okay, so made one knot close to the darker color knot, the darker purple. Added a little Fabri-Tac so that when I make my second knot and that dries, it's going to keep that nice and closed. It's not going to reopen. Okay, can you guys see how I did that? I tied it onto the loop itself. Now I'm going to tie another lighter color in the back here. So gather it together, my tweezer, put it through the loop, and I'm going to do the same thing with my fibers. I have two different fibers here of pink, and I have this eyelash sparkly white, and I'm going to tie those through the loop as well and just add different colors and fibers. That's how I like to bind my albums, for my TP albums anyway. And I like doing this to my paper bag albums too. It's just fun. Okay, and then usually to trim, because I trim these, I pull them all out. See where I cut my darker purple, put my fingers out there, and I have some pinking shears here, so I'm just gonna cut that excess off, and that's the tulle binding. Okay, so it's tied onto the loops, and I'm gonna cut some fiber, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put it through the loop, not the album hole, the loop, and I'm gonna tie my first knot, little Fabri-Tac, or 3-in-1 I should call that stuff, and I'm gonna pull, whoops, sorry guys, gonna pull it out and trim it off. Okay, and I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep tying onto my loop here until I think it looks good. Okay, so I will be back after I'm done tying all my fibers, and we will work on the interactive front cover. Hi everybody, Cynthia here. I'm back. I got my, with the TP mini album tutorial, I got my ribbon binding all tied up. I have all my different fibers on, tied them all onto the loop. As you can see, I have a nice loop there, so I can still open up my mini album very easily. Okay, but it looks fluffy and cute. Okay, so that's done. Now we're going to make the interactive front cover to go on top of this. So what you're going to need is a sheet of cardstock. I chose white because my album I painted white, as you remember. And you're going to line it up. You're going to need a sheet, that measures 6.5 by 11. You're going to line it up at the 6.5, and you're going to score at 3 1/4. Now this interactive front cover is a real simple one. Okay, figured we're starting out. I'll make it simple. I do have another tutorial on another front cover for an album. I'll post that link below this as well, so you guys can head over and check that one out. Maybe you might want to do that one instead. I'm just doing a different one for this tutorial. Okay, so after you're done scoring at the 3 1/4 inch, you're going to flip it and line it up at the 11, and you're going to score at 2 1/4, 4 1/2, 6 3/4, 9 inches, and again at the 10. Okay? Now, I'm going to put the scoreboard aside. And I'm just going to fold on the middle score line for right now. I'm going to open that back up. And the bottom piece here where it has the two 1-inch score lines, that piece I'm going to fold up. And then I'm going to cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave one of the 1-inch pieces here, and we're going to cut this bottom piece off. Okay? Doesn't matter if you go past the score line, because you're going to cut straight up, and you're going to cut this whole section off right here. Okay, and I'm going to cut straight across here. You can use your cutter for this. I just use scissors. I'm just used to doing that. So your front cover should look like this. You should have your 1-inch flap. That's going to create your pocket. You should have no flap over here, a flap here. Okay, so we're going to skip this, and we're going to cut this flap out and leave this flap here. So cut on your score line to meet up with the other score line in the middle. Okay, we're going to cut on this line. This is a real simple one, guys. And we're going to cut this middle piece out and leave these two flaps alone. Okay. And that's it for cutting. Okay, so you should have an interactive flap that looks like this. You have a bottom piece that's 1 inch here. Your paper that you're going to cover it with, your little mat, that should measure 1 inch. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me double check that. It should measure 7/8 of an inch, so one less than 1 inch, 7/8 by 3 1/8. Okay, that's going to be your mat on this piece. You're going to want to mat all of your sections, but first we're going to fold this up. This bottom pocket's going to be added to your album. You're going to fold these flaps, and we're going to accordion fold. So you're going to fold this up, this back, and this down. So it's going to open, flap up. Okay? Now, to cover your pages, I've already started mine. Like I said, this measures 1 by 3 1/4, so your mat that you're going to put on top of this is going to be 7/8 of an inch by 3 1/8. Let me get some tape on here. I'm hoping my battery does not run out, guys. I see my battery's running low. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit here. Okay, and before you attach your pocket, you're going to want to put your photo mat back here first and then attach it on the sides, and then you're going to want to mat all of these pages. The only one that you don't mat is this back piece on the pocket, because that's what we're going to attach it to the album with. Okay, so your mat sizes for each section of this, it actually measures 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. So your mat size should measure 3 1/8 long by 2 1/8 high. And you'll need, let's see, let me get this one on, and I'm going to tell you how many you'll need. Come on, battery, hold up. Don't fail me now. Okay. You're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of these. Okay? So 11 of those mats and 1 of this one. And accordion folds. So here's your pocket. You're going to fold down, up, and down. Okay? Let me attach my pocket. I like to use liquid glue for my pockets, because when I use double-sided tape and you put a tag inside the pocket, it tends to stick, and I don't like that. You know, sometimes the tags stick to the inside of the pocket, and I don't like that. So I just use a little bit of liquid glue on each side. Make sure that's down really good. Okay, so we have a pocket. And then it looks like this. Remember, when you're matting on this side, when this gets attached, okay, here's the album. When this gets attached, this is going to flip up, and then it's going to flip back down for more mats. So you want to make sure when you mat this side that it's facing the right way and it's not up, your mat's not upside down. Okay? So fold it back up, and we're going to add some double-sided tape to this side. I like to use score tape. You guys can use whatever adhesive you're comfortable with. I'm using the 3/8 right now because that's what I have on hand. And I am going to add tape to the entire back pocket. If I have to trim off on the edges, I'm okay with that. And the reason why I add a lot of adhesive to this part is because it's interactive. People are going to be pulling on it. You really want a real good adhesive for this part. Okay. I'm just going to make sure there's no tape sticking out on the edges, which there is a little bit, so I'm going to trim that off. Okay. Oh, hold up, battery, hold up. And peel my backing off here. I order my score tape online, different places. Wherever I can get it on sale, you know, the best price, that's where I'll order it. usually from an eBay seller. I usually find good prices on there. Okay. So we have our tape back here. Okay. So remember, this is accordion fold, your pocket, tape, accordion. And we're just going to line it up and add it to the front cover. And you kind of want to balance it out. Okay. So press it down really, really good. Open it back up. And I run my bone folder over it to make sure that tape really got on there well. And that's the interactive front cover. Opens like that. These flip open, so it gives you 2, 4, 5. Flip it this way. 6, 7, 8 options for more photos. And then you have a little pocket here for some tags for journaling. Okay. Now I did a ribbon that's just going to go on like this. Okay. To keep it closed. I want to get the ribbon done. I wanted to get the ribbon done so it can go on the edge, and then I could see where that's going to lay so I can decorate this front piece here. Basically, you don't need jewelry pieces. If you guys can see, I used a paper clip from Tim Holtz and a jewelry clasp. And you can open it like this. Okay? So basically it has a hole here. I tied a knot with the ribbon there, sealed it. Did the same thing on the paper clip, tied a knot, sealed it. Just wraps around the end of the book and closes. If you don't have jewelry clasps or paper clips or anything like that, don't fret, guys. Just tie your ribbon around and double knot, seal it on the edges, and then all you have to do is pull it on and off. Okay? You don't need any fancy jewelry clasp. It can just be a piece of ribbon that looks like that with a knot on it. Okay? No biggie. I just used jewelry clasp because I thought it looked, you know, just adds a little something to it, but you don't need them. And you don't want to tie it too tight because this is going to expand, so you want to leave, you know, a little bit of room for some expansion. So that's it, guys. That's the TP tutorial, and it's all ready to be decorated to do whatever you'd like on your front cover. Just make sure whatever you do on your front cover, you keep your ribbon on here so that you don't decorate over that area and then you have to redo your ribbon. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will definitely be back to share with you what mine looks like, what the final project looks like after I'm done decorating it. So thanks for watching, guys. Have fun creating yours, and I'll be back with the finished look. Take care.